Bette appears tonight in her original screen role as the woman who sacrifices everything for love. And co-starred with her is another favorite of ours, and yours, Gregory Peck. The lights at our theater are dimmed, and here's the first act of Now Voyager, starring Bette Davis as Charlotte Vale and Gregory Peck as Jerry Durrant, with Joseph Kearns as Dr. Jackworth and Janet Scott as Mrs. Vale.
Untold wants by life and land near granted. Now Voyager, sail our forth to seek and find. I heard those words for the first time over a year ago from Dr. Jackson in my room at the sanitarium. I knew what he meant. I'd been there 3 months, and now I was ready to leave. I seemed to be well again, but how could we be sure? How could I be sure? I wonder what Dr. Jackson thought of me the day Lisa, my sister, brought him to our house. I remember the way he stood in the drawing room, smiling at me so gently. I, in my low-heeled shoes and my glasses, fat and dull and sullen, not trusting myself to speak, and my mother. It was not Mother's idea to bring Dr. Jackson to see me. Mother believed only in strength, never in weakness. What was it she said that day? Oh, yes. She said, I'm ashamed of you, Charlotte. I'm ashamed of you, Charlotte. It was Lisa's suggestion to bring Dr. Jackson here, not mine. Your sister says that your recent peculiarities, your fits of crying, indicate that you're on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Is that what you're trying to achieve? Well, Charlotte, has a cat got your tongue? Mother, please be quiet, Lisa. Charlotte, Dr. Jackson has a sanatorium in Vermont, I believe. Probably one of those places with a high wire fence and yowling inmates.
Oh, Mrs. Vale, I wouldn't want anyone to have that mistaken notion. The Cascade is just a place in the country. People come there when they're tired.
The very word, psychiatry. Charlotte, doesn't it feel you ashamed?
There's nothing shameful in my work, Mrs. Vale, or frightening, or anything else. You see, Miss Charlotte, people walk along a road. They come to a fork in the road. They're confused. They don't know which way to take. I just put up a signpost saying, not that way, this way.
Well, Charlotte, would you like Dr. Jackson to point the way for you? I'm going upstairs. Charlotte, come back here at once.
Please don't. I'd like to speak to her alone. Excuse me. Oh, Miss Charlotte, will you wait, please?
Yes, Dr. Jackson.
Miss Charlotte, I wonder if I might ask you a favor. Will you be nice enough to show me around this house? One doesn't often get a chance to view the Vale residence.
Very well, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you.
Here's the room in which I was born. My mother's room.
It's a fine room. But I'd rather see what your room is like.
I'm not your patient yet.
Well, nobody thinks you ever will be. But, of course, if you thought not.
It's on the floor above. When I was 17, I stayed out once until after midnight. That creepy step hasn't been 6 feet.
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
And my mother said, this way, Doctor. I keep my door locked. You can notice, Doctor. Significant, isn't it?
Well, it signifies it's your door. I've never heard it said that a woman's home is not her castle.
My castle, Doctor.
Yeah. You're comfortable here, aren't you?
I try to be. I'm here a good part of the time.
Hello. What's this over here? A work table?
Yes.
Ivory carving. Did you make this cigarette box?
Why shouldn't I?
The point is how you could. I have a very real admiration for people who are clever with their hands. I was always very clumsy with my own.
I would say that you're one of the least clumsy persons I've ever known.
Oh, you wouldn't happen to have a cigarette hidden away someplace, would you?
You think I hide cigarettes in my room?
Oh, no. I meant...
Where do I hide them, Doctor? On the shelves behind the books? Cigarettes and medicated cherry and novels my mother would never allow me to read?
Oh, please, it was only the box that reminded me.
How very perceiving you are. How very right you are. You see, I was about to hide this album. You really should look at it, though. It wouldn't do for you to come all the way up here and miss your amusement. Look at it, Doctor. The intimate journal of Miss Charlotte Vale.
Won't anything convince you that I don't wish to pry?
Oh, but you must pry. I insist that you do. Here's a record of my last trip abroad with my mother. You wouldn't have known me then. I was 20 then, and I was in love.
Miss Vale.
Oh, don't be embarrassed. I'm not. Here's his picture. I've never met a man like Leslie before. I've hardly ever met a man. Mother thought of that. Leslie loves me. He wanted to marry me. But he wasn't suitable, my mother said. What man is suitable, Doctor? She's never found one. What man would ever say to me, I want you? Look at me. I'm fat. My mother disapproves of the foul arousal of diet. Look at my shoes. My mother approves of sensible shoes. Look at my glasses. You'll never get another pair of eyes, my mother says. Look at the books on my shelves. My mother approves of good, solid books. I am my mother's well-loved daughter. I am my mother's companion. I am my mother's servant. My mother's son, my mother, my mother, my mother.
Yes. Yeah, no. Look up here. You'll never get another pair of eyes, as your mother says, if you spoil them with tears.
Oh, Dr. Gregory, when you were talking downstairs, when you talked about the fork in the road, there are other forks further along the road. So many.
Yeah. Put away your book and come downstairs. I'll go ahead.
It's just as I said, isn't it? Just nonsense.
Mrs. Vale.
Charlotte's no more ill than a molting canary. Of course, she's my youngest, you know. The child of my age. My ugly duckling. I suppose it's true that all late children are mocked.
Often such children are not wanted. That can much.
Dr. Jackson, are you telling
I've
me
been
that
trying to tell you that your daughter is seriously ill, thanks to you.
Thanks
If
to
you
me?
had deliberately and maliciously planned to destroy your daughter's life, you couldn't have done it more completely.
How? By having exercised a mother's right.
Oh, mother's rights, Portal. A child has rights. To discover her own mistakes, to make her own way, to grow and blossom in her own particular soil.
Are you getting into botany, Doctor? Are we flowers?
I'm trying to help your daughter. I suggest a few weeks at Cascade.
I spent 3 months at Cascade. Outwardly, Dr. Jack was working miracles. I had lost weight. I was looking better. My hands were steady. Inwardly, I didn't know. And then came that morning when Dr. Jackson told me I could leave.
Well, time has come for you to get out of the nest, Charlotte. Try your own way.
You mean, go home?
No. Go out and take a good look at the world. On your own. Forget you're a hidebound New Englander. Meet people. Talk to them.
I just prayed.
Charlotte, the other day I referred to a quotation. You remember?
Yes. You said it was from Walt Whitman.
That's right. Well, I've had it looked up. He's put into words what I'd like to say to you far better than I could ever express it. He says, untold wants by life and land ne'er granted. Now, Voyager, sail thou forth to seek and find.
I sailed in 3 days a pleasure cruise to South America. Lisa had secured space aboard ships because a girl she knew, Renee Beauchamp, decided suddenly to go to Arizona instead. It was too late for my name to go on the passenger list, and so I was known to the deck steward and to the head waiter as Miss Beauchamp. I dreaded the embarrassment to explain this to the passengers, so I simply avoided the mistake in my cabin. When we reached Campos, I decided to go ashore. Renee had helped me with my wardrobe, insisted, in fact, that I take half a trunk full of her own clothes. As I came down the steps to the tender, I knew people were looking at me. Oh, panic-stricken. My plucked eyebrows, my new hairdo, the lipstick I wore, my borrowed clothes. At the bottom of the ladder, a man was smiling at me.
Excuse me, Beauchamp. My name's Jerry Durham. It seems you've got the only shore carriage left, and the steward suggested that you might be willing to share it with someone. I know it's an inconvenience if it's too much to take.
You can stand it, I forgive.
Oh, thank you. I've enjoyed myself today. Have you? You know, Miss Beauchamp, haven't I read about you in the newspapers, the girls who jumped horses so well? Or is it tennis?
You've never read about me in newspapers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm mistaken. Nevertheless, you're quite different from what I expected.
Please listen. I'm not Miss Beauchamp.
Beg your pardon?
Renee Beauchamp is in Arizona. I took her space at the last moment. I don't know why I'm telling you this is strange.
No, you're the stranger. You know who I am.
My name is Vale. Whatever appears on the passenger list, it will be C. Vale, Boston.
One of the Vales of Boston?
One of the lesser ones.
Well, which one, Miss or Mrs.?
Aunt. Every family has one, you know.
But Aunt what?
My name is Charlotte Vale. Miss Charlotte Vale. Do you mind if we go?
Oh, Miss Vale, I hope I didn't offend you. You know, it's like me to blunder just when I was going to ask you for a favor. I've got some shopping to do for my daughters, and, well, I need a woman's help.
Of course. Since the aunt is an ideal person to select presents for young girls.
Miss Vale, I wish I understood you.
You wish you understood me. You did.
You know, I think we did very well. The jewelry's just right for Beatrice and the sweater for Tina.
How old is Tina?
Here, I've got a picture. This is my harem, all girls.
Who is that Mrs.?
No, that's Isabel, my wife. Picture isn't very good at this. She'd only look up and smile, and that's Beatrice next to her.
Then that must be Tina sitting cross-legged on the grass.
Yes. We hope she won't have to wear glasses all her life. Tina wouldn't smile for me either. She's convinced she's an ugly duckling.
Does Tina know she wasn't wanted?
Now, there's an odd remark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I made it.
Oh, I mean odd because it's so close to the truth. Even before she was born, her mother... Well, never mind that. Here's a slight offering for being my guide today. It's a mixture of several kinds of flowers. It's called Jolie Fleur.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll put some on my handkerchief tonight.
Well, you're good.
In my hand as I walked away with the bottle of perfume, my heart was beating wildly like a schoolgirl. It was the first gift any man had ever given me.